Fox is going to get sued once more. This time, the source of it is their own employees. Let's have a look at the article. Brought to us by our friends at The Guardian, Fox News producer accuses network of coercive coaching in Dominion case. That, folks, is a crime, for the record. Let's see if it gets charged as such. Go ahead and break the Guardian's heart. All right. Article, by the way, by Adam Gabbett. A Fox News producer who worked on Tucker Carlson's flagship show has claimed in a pair of lawsuits that network lawyers coached and intimidated her into giving misleading testimony in the $1.6 billion Dominion Voting Systems lawsuit. Abby Grossberg, a senior producer and head of booking for Tucker Carlson, who has also worked on Maria Bartiromo's show, alleged that the network attempted to pin the blame for Fox News' airing of voting conspiracies on her and Bartiromo, an effort that Grossberg says was part of a broader culture of sexism and misogyny at Fox News. Not even in defense of Fox News. I will say, Bartiromo leaned real hard into the Dominion stuff. But you cannot blame the people in front of the camera for what they said the second time. The first time, sure. But the second time, they didn't get fired. The third time, the fourth time, it's not the employees. It is the bosses, even if I despise everyone in this article, which I do. The lawsuit was first revealed by Daily Beast's Confider newsletter. Okay, great plug, Daily Beast. For the Daily Beast, which reported that Fox News filed a countersuit on Monday seeking a restraining order to prevent Grossberg from revealing conversations she had with network lawyers. In her lawsuits filed in Delaware and New York, Grossberg accused Fox News attorneys of coaching her in a coercive and intimidating manner before her deposition in the Dominion case. Do you recall? Who is that gal that gave the wonderful January 6th testimony? Let's see. January 6th, key witness. Can't remember her name. Cassidy Hutchinson. That's right. Do you remember how Cassidy Hutchinson was treated? Do you remember the situation she was put in? Cassidy Hutchinson, just like this lawsuit with Fox News, was provided with a lawyer by her employer. That employer had the lawyer ask her to essentially take the fall, ask her to do illegal things to cover for them. This is no different. This is something the mob does. We need to, first and foremost, insist that our Justice Department get to goddamn work. More on that in a moment. In an interview with the New York Times on Monday evening, Grossberg, this is the producer for Tucker Carlson and Maria Bartiromo, said the lawyers had given her the impression that she should avoid mentioning senior Fox executives and Fox News' on-air hosts to protect them from any blame, while putting her own reputation at risk. That's what the culture is there, Grossberg told Times. They don't respect or value women. Well, that's not a surprise. Grossberg said in her lawsuits that bosses at Fox referred to Bartiromo as a crazy bitch, who was menopausal. She said she was told to cut Bartiromo out of coverage discussions. Grossberg further alleged a culture of misogyny behind the scenes on Carlson's show, where she began working last year. On her first full day, according to the lawsuit, Grossberg discovered that the show's Manhattan workspace was decorated with large pictures of Representative Nancy Pelosi of California, then the House Speaker, wearing a plunging swimsuit, the Times reported. I think that was a reference to Major League, but it'd be weird for them to expect anybody under 40 to get that. Carlson's staff repeatedly made jokes about Jews, Jesus Christ, according to Grossberg's lawsuit, and held discussions about which female politicians they would rather have sex with. Classy folks. After Grossberg complained about the behavior, she was called into a human resources meeting and told she was not performing her duties, she said in a state. All right. I'm going to go ahead and be upfront that this is literally one side to the story. But man, I gotta say, if I'm just being real with you, that is exactly how I imagine Fox operating. Exactly. In a statement, a Fox spokesperson said, so here's the other side. Fox News Media engaged an independent outside counsel to immediately investigate the concerns raised by Ms. Grossberg, independent, I'm sure, which were made following a critical performance review. Her allegations in connection with the Dominion case are baseless, and we will vigorously defend Fox against all of her claims. They added, Ms. Grossberg has threatened to disclose Fox's attorney-client privileged information, and we have filed a temporary restraining order to protect our rights. Wow. So, yeah, this isn't a surprise. It's entirely possible that America won't even have the attention span to ensure that this gets followed up on. One thing we have learned, the Department of Justice will not go after powerful people of their own volition. That's when I started calling America an oligarchy, was when I realized that the Department of Justice had to be pushed to actually seek justice against anyone who was wealthy. That is pretty much what an oligarchy is. I don't think, unfortunately, that there is going to be the sympathy for this person, the desire to see justice done on this specific thing against Fox. If these allegations turn out to be true, I don't think it's there. Not because it shouldn't be pursued, but because there is literally so much going on right now that I think this will disappear. And that sucks because this person is living the experiences of the proletariat, I guess. They are living through the kind of harassment, the kind of they're being used by this company in the most blatant of ways. If what she says is true, disrespected and used. And I'm always on the side of the worker. By default, I am on the side of the worker. I would like to see justice done in this manner. Matter, I should say. So what can you do? I'm not entirely sure that you can pile on Fox for this, motivate anyone in particular. I think I got to be honest with you about where you can best spend your efforts. And I'm not sure that even writing the Department of Justice and saying, are you looking into this, will get something done. What I am sure of is that you can prevent your news organizations, your media outlets of choice from becoming Fox News. Look at CNN. CNN is slowly but surely creeping their way over to the Fox side of things. They're getting more blatant with their skewing of the stories they have to tell in favor of right-wingers. They're inviting John freaking Bolton on. You can stop that from happening, not by boycotting them, but by doing the opposite. Writing in when your media network of choice disappoints you and letting them know how they've disappointed you. That includes me. In fact, I encourage it so often because my worst nightmare is to wake up one day and realize that I'm Fox News. Okay, my worst nightmare is to wake up and realize that I'm Fox News without the money. But general principle is the same. A good media organization should welcome the criticism. And they should respond to it if it's fair criticism. Keep your media organizations on their toes. And try to remember this. Try to remember there's a lawsuit from a Fox producer. I'll let you know. I'll keep my eyes open. If it settles, I'll tell you. If it actually goes to court, I'll tell you. I do think that we are going to enter an era where one of two things will occur. Either we give up, we lose to the right-wingers of this, not even right-wingers, the whatever the GOP has metastasized into, we lose to that. In which case, it would be every bit as bad as you can imagine. It would be a cultish, just a religious, a theocracy. But what's that religion where the wealth itself is praised? A prosperity gospel. There we go. It'll be a prosperity gospel theocracy. And there's the other way. The other way is we actually enforce the law as written on the books. Now, I'll tell you, if we only go after those that absolutely, positively can't be ignored, because otherwise they'll get other headlines that remind you that they're not currently in prison, like Donald Trump, for example. If we only go after those people, then it's still going to be a theocracy of the prosperity gospel. But about 5-10 years down the line, maybe, let's say 15, give a couple administrations in there. It's not going to stop it, though, because all that will teach America's worst criminal class, all that will teach them is that they need to be just a little more subtle. So that won't be sufficient. We're going to have to get everyone who breaks the law, at least make an honest effort to get everyone who breaks the law. When that happens, I promise you, if that happens, God willing, that will happen. And when it does, if it does, I promise you that GOP will start calling it McCarthyism. They'll literally say it's a witch hunt. They've already been doing that. They'll start saying this is the Red Scare all over again. I just want you to brace for that right now. And be reminded of this. This Fox suit, be reminded of it. Here's somebody who you might never hear about again. It doesn't mean they didn't suffer. Here's somebody who you might not like. Oh, there we go. Who you might not like. Doesn't mean they weren't wronged. We got to get Trump out of the way fast. That's true. But we have to develop a taste for justice, an addiction to justice. And we have to keep insisting, and we have to keep lighting the fire under the Department of Justice, their butts, until we start actually seeing these people taken seriously as the criminals they are.